The storm wasn't supposed to come until morning. That's what the ranger said. That's what the app said. That's what we believed. By the time the sky turned white, it was too late to turn back. Snow swallowed the trail in less than 10 minutes. 1 second there were markers nailed to trees. The next, just endless white and the sound of wind screaming through branches like something alive. That's when we heard it. A crunch. Not the wind. Not falling snow. A step. Behind us. I stopped walking. The others kept moving for 2 seconds before realizing I wasn't there. "Why'd you stop?" Ethan shouted over the wind. I didn't answer. Because I was listening. And there it was again. Crunch. Slow. Deliberate. Matching the rhythm of someone walking carefully. Following. "There's someone back there," I said. Maya turned first. Her face was pale beneath the hood. That's not possible. The trail behind us had already disappeared. Nothing but blowing white. No shape. No shadow. No figure. Just wind. Then, crunch. Closer this time. And whatever was making those footsteps wasn't struggling in the snow at all. The first thing I remember after the footsteps started was the way the wind died. Not all at once. Just enough to make room for something else. We were still standing on what used to be the trail, snow blasting sideways across our faces, when the forest seemed to inhale. The trees stopped groaning. The branches stopped rattling. Even the air felt thicker, like we were walking through something unseen. And behind us, crunch. Ethan turned slowly, jaw tight. It's just someone else caught in the storm. In the middle of nowhere, Maya said. He didn't answer. The snow erased everything except those prints. Ours disappeared within seconds. Theirs didn't. They stayed carved into the earth, deep and clean, like the storm respected them. I couldn't stop staring at the spacing. Too wide. Too steady. Like whatever made them wasn't slipping at all. "We need to move," Ethan said. His confidence sounded forced now. We walked. And it walked. Always 5 steps behind. Matching pace. Matching rhythm. The trees thickened the farther we pushed forward. The world narrowed into white corridors between trunks. No birds. No distant highway hum. Just the soft thunder of falling snow and the deliberate sound of something keeping up with us. Crunch. Maya grabbed my sleeve. "It's timing us." I swallowed. "What do you mean?" "When you step, it waits. Then it steps." We tested it again. Ethan raised his hand. We stopped. The silence pressed hard against my ears. 5 seconds. 10. Nothing. Then, crunch. A single step. Slow. Patient. Like a reminder. Maya's breathing quickened. "It wants us to know." "That's enough," Ethan snapped. "You're both freaking yourselves out." But he didn't sound convinced. We started downhill, guessing at direction. The GPS had frozen. The compass needle twitched like it couldn't decide where north belonged anymore. I kept feeling that weight between my shoulders. That stare. I turned quickly. Nothing. White snow bending in the wind. Then I noticed something else. The forest floor wasn't even anymore. Small mounds broke the surface under the snow. Too symmetrical to be rocks. Too shallow to be fallen logs. They stretched between the trees in a loose circle. Like something had once stood there. Or knelt. "Do you see that?" I asked. Ethan didn't look. "Don't start." "I'm serious." Maya looked. Her face drained of color. "Those aren't natural." The wind shifted again. And for just a second, the snow thinned. We saw them clearly then. Not mounds. Not rocks. Depressions. Indented into the earth in a massive ring around the trees. Footprints. Old ones. Hundreds of them. All facing inward. Toward the center of the woods. Toward us. "No," Maya whispered. Crunch. Behind us. Closer now. The breathing came with it. Steady. Controlled. Like someone climbing a hill without strain. I could almost feel its warmth against the back of my neck, except it wasn't warm. It was the opposite. A cold that burned. "We're not alone out here," Maya said. Ethan finally turned again, and this time he didn't try to explain it away. He stared at the untouched line of prints trailing behind us. Then he looked at the ancient circle pressed into the earth around us. His voice dropped. We walked into something. The trees creaked. The light dimmed, though it was barely afternoon. And from somewhere deeper in the woods, farther ahead this time, we heard it again. Crunch. Not behind us. In front. The step in front of us changed everything. Before, it felt like we were being followed. Now it felt like we were being herded. No one said it out loud. We didn't have to. "Okay," Ethan said quietly, trying to steady his breathing. "It circled us." "Or there's more than one," Maya whispered. "Don't." Another crunch. Ahead. Slightly to the left this time. Measured. Controlled. Like it knew exactly where we would step next. We stood there too long. The forest doesn't like hesitation. You can feel it. The longer you stop, the more it presses in. The trees leaned inward, their branches heavy with snow. The white around us seemed brighter somehow, almost glowing. "We keep moving," Ethan decided. "Straight through." "Through what?" I asked. He didn't answer. We crossed the circle of old prints slowly. Up close, they were worse. They weren't random. They overlapped each other in patterns. Layers upon layers of impressions pressed deep into the frozen earth, like something had paced the same path for years. Or decades. All facing inward. Toward the center. Toward us. Maya's voice trembled. "This is a boundary." The wind died completely. No branches. No storm howl. Just breathing. Not ours. Behind us. Ahead of us. To the right. Crunch. Ethan flinched. "Stop moving." We froze. The breathing stopped too. Then. Crunch. One single step dead ahead. It was guiding us. We walked again, but slower now. The trees thinned unexpectedly, opening into a narrow clearing. Snow coated everything in smooth white curves, untouched by wind. Except for one thing. A path. Bare earth exposed in a straight line cutting through the snow. Leading forward. "How is that possible?" I said. Maya shook her head. "Nothing should be uncovered in this storm." Ethan crouched, touching the ground. Steam rose faintly from the soil. "It's warm." A low sound rolled through the trees. Not wind. Not an animal. It felt satisfied. Crunch. Behind us again. Closer than before. Maya's voice broke. "It's pushing us there." "Then we don't go," I said quickly. The breathing shifted. Right at my ear. I didn't feel air. But I heard it. Slow inhale. Slow exhale. "You shouldn't stop." The voice was faint. Almost thoughtful. I spun around. Nothing. But my heart was slamming so hard it blurred my vision. "Did you hear that?" I asked. Ethan's eyes were wide. "Hear what?" Maya stared at me. I realized then. It wasn't speaking to them. It was speaking to me. We tried to leave the clearing. The moment we stepped away from the exposed path, the storm roared back to life. Wind hit like a wall. Snow blinded us instantly. We stumbled back toward the warm earth just to breathe again. The second we stepped onto it. Silence. The storm softened. Like it had never been there. Ethan's jaw tightened. "It wants us on the path." Maya shook her head. "No. It needs us on the path." "Same thing." "No," she said quietly. "Not the same." Crunch. This time it was directly behind Ethan. He didn't turn. None of us did. We knew it was close enough now that if we looked, we might see it. And if we saw it, it might change something. The path led deeper between the trees. The light dimmed unnaturally fast. It wasn't even late afternoon yet, but the sky above shifted from white to gray to something almost blue-black. My thoughts began to drift. That's the only way I can explain it. Like part of me was somewhere else. I started remembering stories my grandfather used to tell during winters when the power went out. He talked about the one who walks behind. Said it doesn't hunt. It doesn't chase. It waits for storms. Because storms erase choices. You can't see where you came from. You can't see where you're going. So you follow what feels safest. And what feels safest is the path it clears for you. I used to think it was just folklore. Something to scare kids into staying near home. But I remembered one detail clearly. He said, "It won't touch you unless you turn and face it." My throat went dry. Because we hadn't turned. Not fully. Not directly. And it had stayed just out of sight. "Stop," Maya whispered suddenly. We did. Ahead of us stood something half buried in snow. A structure. Small. Angular. Wrong against the natural lines of the forest. A cabin. Its door hung slightly open. Dark inside. The path led straight to it. "No," Ethan said immediately. Crunch. Right behind him. Closer than ever. The breathing was almost touching him now. "You want to stay out here?" Maya shot back. "We don't go in." The wind began rising again. Snow creeping sideways across the clearing. The warmth of the path fading. Like a timer running out. Crunch. A second step. Right beside the first. It was no longer pretending to be distant. It was at our backs. Waiting. Ethan's voice cracked. "Fine. We check it. Quick." We moved toward the cabin. Each step felt heavier. Not physically. Mentally. Like something inside me was screaming not to cross the threshold. The door creaked softly in the wind. Inside was dark, but untouched. No fresh snow. No footprints. No sign of life. "Hello," Ethan called. Silence. We stepped in. The moment all three of us crossed the doorway, the storm stopped completely. The door slammed shut behind us. And from outside, very slowly, we heard it. Crunch. Stopping right at the door. Then nothing. No breathing. No wind. Just silence. Maya swallowed hard. It brought us here. Ethan tried the handle. It wouldn't budge. The temperature inside dropped sharply. Our breath clouded thick in the air. Then, from somewhere deeper inside the cabin, we heard footsteps. Not outside anymore. Inside. Moving across the wooden floor. Behind us. Slow. Deliberate. Crunch. But this time, it wasn't snow beneath it. It was wood. The step on the wood was softer than it should have been. Not a creak. Not a groan. Just weight. Settling. Behind us. Maya's fingers dug into my arm. "It's inside." Ethan didn't move. Didn't breathe. Another step. Closer. The lantern on the table flickered once, then steadied. The light didn't reach the far corners of the cabin anymore. The walls felt farther away than before, stretching subtly outward like the room was inhaling. "Show yourself," Ethan said, but his voice cracked halfway through. Silence answered him. Then, a whisper, right beside my ear. "You came in." I flinched hard enough to stumble. "That's not funny," Maya said sharply. "I didn't." "I heard you," she insisted. Her eyes were locked on me. Accusing. Confused. Terrified. A floorboard creaked behind Ethan. He turned. Too fast. The lantern flame bent sideways as if something passed in front of it. For a second, just a second, the light hit a shape. Tall. Too tall. Its head nearly brushed the ceiling beams. Its outline wasn't solid. It wavered like heat distortion, but darker. Colder. The air around it shimmered wrong. And where its face should have been, there was only depth. A hollow place where light didn't return. Ethan staggered back. "What is that?" The shape tilted its head, studying him. Then it spoke. Not loud. Not monstrous. Just calm. "You walked." The temperature plummeted. Ice began crawling across the inside of the windows. Maya's voice shook. We didn't know. You stepped, it continued. Each word echoed slightly too long, like the cabin walls repeated it after. You heard. Crunch. A footstep echoed through the room. But the thing hadn't moved. The sound came from behind us. I turned instinctively, and there it was again. Another one. Half-formed near the door. Same height. Same hollow face. Ethan's breathing turned ragged. There's more. The first shape drifted forward, not walking, gliding. It didn't bend its knees. It didn't shift its weight. It just advanced. The wooden floor did not creak under it, but the sound of crunching snow filled the room with every inch it crossed. You shouldn't have listened, it said. Maya broke first. She lunged for the door, yanking at the handle. Open, open, open. It didn't move. The second shape reached her before we did. Not touching, just near. Her body stiffened. Her scream cut off mid-breath. She stood frozen, eyes wide and unfocused. Maya. I grabbed her shoulders. Her lips trembled. And then she spoke. But the voice wasn't hers. It's not following. Ethan shook his head violently. Stop it. Stop. He grabbed the lantern and hurled it at the first shape. The flame passed through, but the glass shattered against the wall. Darkness swallowed half the room. The shapes didn't retreat. They multiplied. Shadows peeling themselves from corners, from ceiling beams, from beneath the table. Each one taller than the last. Each one hollow-faced. Watching. Crunch. 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 The sound surrounded us completely now. Snow beneath feet that weren't there. You're not real, Ethan muttered, backing away. The nearest shape tilted its head further. You walked willingly. The walls began to change. The wood grain faded into white. The ceiling beams dissolved into blowing snow. The cabin wasn't a cabin anymore. It was the storm. We were standing in open white. But the door still stood upright behind us. Alone. Detached from any wall. Ethan stared at it. Run. There was nowhere to run. The ground beneath us shifted like loose powder. Footprints formed around us in tight circles. Hundreds. Thousands. All facing inward. Maya's body jerked once. Then she stepped forward on her own. Maya, don't, I begged. Her eyes were empty. It leads, she whispered calmly. The shapes parted for her, creating a narrow corridor through the storm. She walked into it. Slow. Obedient. The white swallowed her within seconds. Her final scream came from far away, like it had already happened. Ethan roared and charged after her. The nearest shape didn't block him. It simply leaned close. Ethan stopped mid-stride. His body went rigid. His breath fogged once, twice, then ceased. He turned his head slowly toward me. Tears streamed down his face. I can see it now, he whispered. What do you see? I asked, barely breathing. His lips trembled. Where it ends. The storm howled louder. The shapes closed in tighter. Ethan took one step backward, into the nearest shadow, and vanished. Not dragged. Not pulled. Just gone. The crunching stopped instantly. The storm quieted. I was alone in endless white, except for one thing. A single set of fresh footprints ahead of me, leading forward. The breathing returned. Right behind my neck. Close enough to feel. You can still walk. I squeezed my eyes shut. If I turned, if I faced it, it would touch me. That's what the story said. That's what I remembered. But the path ahead was so clear, so safe-looking, so warm. The footprints waited, inviting. The breathing deepened, patient. I took one step forward. The crunch echoed too loudly. Another. The storm softened around me. The path grew clearer. And behind me, the breathing faded. Because it wasn't following anymore. It didn't need to. It was leading. When they found me, it wasn't the snowstorm that had worn me down. It was the silence. 3 days later, I was walking along the highway, 10 miles from where the trailhead should have been. No snow, no storm, nothing to explain how I'd gotten there. My legs ached, but not like frostbite. More like I had been carrying weight I couldn't see. Ethan and Maya. Gone. There was no trace of them, no footprints, no cabin. Just the memory of what I had left behind, the echo of their screams, and the imprint of that hollow, stretching shapes in the snow and wood. The rangers didn't understand. The local police didn't understand. Even my own friends tried to chalk it up to hypothermia, to delirium. But I know better. The nights after, I barely slept. Every quiet moment became a reminder. The soft hum of my apartment heater. The creak of the floorboards. The whisper of wind against the window. Every sound was a possibility. I had learned what it was like to be led rather than followed. And it doesn't end. Sometimes, when I stop walking, I can still hear it. Crunch. Slow. Patient. Waiting. I never turn around. Because I know that when I do, I won't just see it. I'll see them. And maybe then, there won't be a way back. The snowstorm was only the beginning. The path it left behind is endless. And one day, I'll take another step, and the footprints will guide me straight into it. Until then, I walk lightly. Quietly. Always forward. But I know. It is still there. Waiting. Watching. Leading. Crunch. And I am never truly alone.